First of all, congratulations to the both of you on this film. Wow, it was so fantastic. And Nicole, I just want to start with you because, you know, this was based on a short that you did. That was the kind of liftoff for it. Is that correct? It was a short film,
Um,
Holler.
I made a short film called Holler, and it was kind of a practice of getting to film in a scrapyard, an operational scrapyard, a different scrapyard.
Yeah.
But the feature was something very different and became something much different and more personal.
Right. So tell us a little bit about that because it is, as you said, a very personal story on many levels. And I wanted to know first off why you decided to kind of share this with us and how cathartic an experience it was for you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I wanted to tell a story about how hard it was for me to get an education and explore all the reasons why that is and why it's that way for, girls in America, and why getting access to those kinds of opportunities is challenging, and to sort of put an audience through that and show you why, in my case, it was challenging.
Yeah, and Jessica, let's bring you into the discussion here because when you're so good as Ruth, and here you have the wonderful Nicole to kind of guide you through and give you so much information and help you with this experience. But I wanted to know what it was about this character, about this script when you first read it. What kind of caught your eye and you went, "Listen, I got to play this girl."
I really wanted to play a role. I wanted to lead a movie playing a working class character because that's what I am. I'm from a working class part of England. And I wanted to be in something that was exploring all of that and all of that world and what those people live like. And this movie had it. And this character was fearless, and she was vulnerable, and she was angry, but then she was happy, and she was confused, and she was intelligent. And this was a character that really explores everything of what it is to be a young woman, and that's obviously why I'm doing every single day anyway. But at the same time, coming from a background where, as well as having to realize what it's like to be a woman in this world, in a world where the world is literally against you, and what do you do when you're like, well, I've got into college and I'm definitely smart enough, I always knew that, but now I'm realizing that I can't go because I can't afford it, and just realizing that the world isn't fair, and doing that at a point in your life where you're just trying to work out how to also be a person. And I just really believed in that, and I related to it myself. And then I met Nicole, who, within 10 minutes of sitting down with her, told me that this was going to be the hardest movie of my entire life. She was going to work me harder than anybody else. It was going to be so challenging. I was going to have to learn how to scrap metal and use power tools, film in a polar vortex on film. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Like, it kind of felt like she was challenging me and being like, well, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, I can do it. Like, give me the job and I'll do it.
Well, good for you because, yeah, Nicole, don't you think that would have scared anybody off? What was it about Jessica that you went, like, listen, I was just saying before you popped into the interview, I'm such a huge fan of Jessica's. I think she's amazing. I mean, the Netflix series and everything else that she's done, she has proven herself to be such an amazing young actress and has such a future. But what was it about her that you thought, this is my Ruth? Like, I don't want to scare her off. Why her?
Yeah, it was her willingness, and and her work ethic was first and foremost, because even if someone is extremely talented, which she is, and this is outside of the creative, it's are they willing to do this as a young woman with any level of success, going to go to these frozen scrap yards with me and handle power tools and be dirty and allow me to show her without tons of eyeshadow on, allow herself to be cold and look cold. And look, I love that. Anytime a young woman's like, I want to you know, have my hair and skin a certain way on screen without makeup or without a lot of makeup, or if there's a blemish or a pimple, and your willingness to show that, because that if you know, when I was a teenage girl, I didn't see that on screen. And so
I had acne when we filmed this. Can you oh my god, I was on Roaccutane the whole time that we filmed this. It was a bad time.
I loved it because I had acne as a teenager, and if you don't see it, it makes you feel ugly. It makes you feel like something's wrong with you. And like Jessica's beautiful, and to see this beautiful young actress willing to show like pimples on screen, that's some powerful stuff to girls. It really is. And to handle the power tools, and to also just her fierceness and her fragility, the whole thing at the same time, you know. And that's the creative, but her work ethic and her willingness to do these things that it's challenging to get a lot of actors to do. And these are the kinds of actors I want to work with, the ones who have that.
This was bad skin as well. Like, this actually was bad skin. I completely forgot that. Like, there's been a lot of people through the years that are like, yeah, I had acne when I was filming, and I let them film it. And then when I've seen the movie, I've been like, that's not that bad. Like, that's okay. That's kind of just like scarring. This was like raging chin acne from like being like, and I was like 26, so this is like full hormonal change acne. It's not cute teenage acne. It's like grown woman, like your body being like, hi, like we're just gonna really confuse you again. Like, it was terrible.
And the camera is so close on her.
Exactly. Well, kudos to you, because honestly, I didn't even notice your acne. So there you go. I mean, I was so riveted by your performance, and what really stood out for me, like there was a lot of things that stood out for me watching this movie, but the one thing I really kind of globbed onto, obviously, is the sense of family, and how she was so loyal and devoted to her brother. Like the relationship between Ruth and Blaze. Oh, wow. I mean, Nicole, just first, I want you to address that, because here's a young girl who obviously is smart, has the potential to go to college and make life better for her. But you see, her mother's in jail, so she's torn there. And then she wants to be with her brother and doesn't want to let him down, but yet he's pushing her out the door because he sees her potential. That is a very relatable experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm so glad you feel that way, and that you understood that like that. I'm sure it means a lot to everyone who worked on the film that you said that. So thank you for that perspective.
You're welcome.
I mean, it was my experience growing up there was, you know, I didn't have a lot of people encouraging me. I was greatly discouraged. I have a lot of experience with discouragement. And it turns out really strong, driven people who just don't give up is the positive side of that. But I had a few advocates in my life, and they were really wonderful women who advocated for me. And I'm so grateful for them, and always will be. And it was really hard to leave them. It felt like a betrayal. It felt like a betrayal to go reap the rewards of what I had worked for so long, because I couldn't take them with me. And that's sort of where that was.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. Jessica, I wanted to ask you that too, because, you know, a young girl living in England, you know, growing up with your family, small town and whatever. And look at you, you know, you've really risen to amazing heights with the films that the choices that you're making with your films. I know we're going to see you in some other things past this. And, but again, how hard is that for you as a young girl to say, okay, I'm going to America, or I'm, you know, see ya.
I mean, it's really easy. I was just like, bye guys. No, like I actually, from the beginning of this whole process, again, when I first read the script, the relationship between Ruth and Blaze, I loved it. And I have brothers, and actually one of my brothers is only a year younger than me. So we're extremely close, as close as Ruth and Blaze. And it really is a complicated relationship. It's so intricate, and I really wanted to put that on screen as well. And I think that what I've realized is it comes from a really simple thing where if you grow up very close with a sibling, in the case of like Ruth and Blaze, it's because they have to survive together. With me and my brother, it's because we literally were twins. People thought that we were twins when we were growing up. You're doing everything at the same time as this person. All of your experiences are the same. You're raised in the exact same environment by the same people. And then one day a light bulb goes off and you want more than them. And you want to expect more from your life than them. And you want to challenge themselves more. And it's this crazy new relationship that you have to have with them where you have to try not to reject them as well, and you have to try to still be excited by their life and support them at the same time as being aware of what you're saying is that you don't want the same for yourself. And like for me and my brothers, we've gone through so many different versions of how you make that work, because my brother still lives in the town that we grew up in. He lives with his girlfriend in a house. They work 9 to 5. And, we have nothing in common with each other. And there's a lot of comparison. But, it's difficult. It's something that we work on all the time. I don't have an answer for how you really solve that other than, Nicole said this in another interview, we just make films about it. You can't give an answer. You just represent it and hope that you're giving people the tools to deal with it. But I don't have an answer. It's difficult.
Yeah, no, 100% it's difficult. You really have to do, I think, what's best for you, for sure. And Nicole, we already know how much you challenged Jessica in this film. There's no question. What was the biggest challenge for you with this feature film debut?
Oh, wow. I think it was just having getting it made, even getting on the ground. That was the challenge, like getting on the ground, and having such a specific, clear vision for it. And I didn't feel like I could cave or compromise on anything. I didn't feel like I could give up shooting on film. I didn't feel like I could give up casting who I wanted to cast, shooting on location, using a large first-time actor cast. I felt like if I gave up on any one of those things, I didn't want to make the movie.
Right.
And it felt like for a long time I would have to give up on one of those things to get it made. And when it came down to the wire, I couldn't do it. And I think everything that precedes getting the film into production was the hardest thing about making the movie, was just sticking to the vision, knowing that you could go make a movie if you gave up on a few of those things, and having to turn away all these opportunities to make the film.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't have made this film.
Yeah. I want to ask both of you, Jessica, let's start with you. I wanted to know if there was any time in your life that you felt stuck and were afraid to take that leap of faith.
My life is obviously very different than Ruth's, because I was acting from a really young age. So I was never stuck in a sense of I've never had a problem saying to people this is what I want to do, and I always knew what I wanted to do with my life, and I was very well supported by my family, and I was always doing that. But I did feel stuck in school, and like Nicole, we both experienced what Ruth experienced, where in school, it was constantly you really think that you're going to be an actress? How are you going to do that? Or you won't be able to go to university if you do acting. And I didn't really feel any support. I felt like a lot of my experience in school was just being told I'm not going to be able to do things, and which is so confusing now as an adult. When I look back, I'm like, why did they do that? This is supposed to be a time when nothing that you say is wrong. You know, you're supposed to be right so that you can explore and not feel closed off. But I never felt stuck because I'm not that type of person. And I don't think that Ruth is either.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem saying to somebody, you know, if a teacher said that to me, I did what Ruth does in the movie. I handed them the paper and was like, you're going to mark this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic. Nicole, how about you? Anytime that, you know, you were scared to kind of take that leap? Because I'm glad that you did with this movie. It's just so brilliant, really. It's so good.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think Ruth is at times more heroic than I was. I mean, definitely what's depicted in the story. I made a film about the time when I was really stuck, and to take the uncertain future off the table and to leave, but it meant leaving the people who helped me have that future. That was definitely what you see in the film, a time when I was stuck. And then just all those stops along the way that I told you about with you know, like feeling like I could make this film year after year if I just gave up on a few things. And I just couldn't. And every time I felt really stuck, like I'll never get to make the film the way I want to make this film and the film that I see in my head so clearly. Yeah, I somehow, you know, got out of that rut.
Good. Well, good. We're glad we're glad you did, and we're glad that, you know, Toronto Film Festival viewers are going to be able to watch us at least virtually. So that's a good thing. And Jessica, lastly, for you, I just want to ask, what is it about a role now? Like, what you've done, made so many fantastic choices. What is it now that you look at a script and go, I mean, I think you can be a little pickier now because you are going to be a huge star. There's no question about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What is it about a role that now catches your eye, or what kind of things do you want to do?
Somebody else said this in another interview, and I was like, yes, like that's what I do. I really just like to explore being a person, and like, yes, being a woman and female characters, but I'm just completely fascinated by being a person and doing life. It sounds so kind of obvious and also very much like an actor's answer, but like genuinely, like all different types of things that we do with our lives and all the different things that you can do and be, and going to the middle of nowhere in Ohio and learning how to scrap metal and working through a blizzard and physically challenging myself and mentally challenging myself, really just like draining life dry. Like a role that is like, there's a towel and it's sopping wet and I just get to wring it out. That's what I want from my life being an actress. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, oh, like I only get to have one life, but like what happens if I want to be a jockey, or I want to be a vet, or I want to be an astronaut? And I was like, oh, right, like I can't really do that. But then I realized if I was an actress, then I would get to be, I can do all of these different things, you know. It's a way of me getting the most out of life and learning the most about people. So that's what I look for when I'm choosing a role.
Amazing, amazing. Can't wait to see what you do next. And I just have to know, did you keep Ruth's red beanie or did you get rid of it?
Oh, you can have one. Nicole can send you one.
We have lots of red beanies. I don't have mine here with me now, but I have.
Oh, okay, great.
The red beanies were supposed to be given out at the
festivals
for the festivals and the premieres. So hopefully that's something for the release that we'll be able to do.
Well, I look forward to that because winter's coming in Toronto soon. So I will look forward to my red beanie. I just I want to thank, I'm so sorry that we couldn't chat in person, but it was just a privilege for me to talk to you both via Zoom. It's the best we can do these days. And I just want to thank you both for your time and best of luck with this film to the both of you. And maybe next year we'll see you back in Toronto in person and we can all have a beer or something together. So
I would love that.
Okay.
It was so much fun meeting you.
It was so much fun talking to both of you ladies. I really love this film, and just stay healthy and stay safe. That's the most important thing.
All right, rain check on the body beards.
Okay, you got it. Take care, ladies. Bye. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Ronnie.
Bye-bye.